Hello, and welcome to Teams Notifications Made Easy with Power Automate. I'm Jenny Ward, and we're going to go through some basics in Power Automate today that will be really helpful for you to understand how you can use Teams to your benefit, so that if you're like us, you can be in Teams all day long and just work there and get all the alerts that you need for everything that happens all day long, especially on your Teams channels. The agenda for today is we're going to go through just an overall Power Automate overview. And then we'll talk about the two different options that you have in Power Automate, formerly known as Flow. That will come up because it's part of the URL still, so that's how you'll get there. But you'll create both from templates and creating from scratch. So sometimes you won't find the template that you need, so you want to just start from scratch and create from a blank screen. What is handy about the templates is that you can still use the template. Even if it isn't exactly what you need, you can always edit the templates. And the templates give a good guide about how Microsoft advises that you do certain things and how different users who have created these themselves and then shared them as templates have been able to accomplish what they need. There are a couple of drawbacks about the templates, and we'll go through those as well. So overall, Teams notifications are anything that happen when things will come up on a channel feed. So you'll see a post that will come up. It'll look like a message. If you just post to a channel, that is a notification. If you want to take it to the next level, you can also add mentions. So that's any time that you put an @ sign before a member of that team, it will draw their attention. So it will show up in their activity feed, and they'll be able to find any time that they are mentioned on any channel. So it's super handy to just be able to go to the activity feed in the top left corner of Teams and see what you have and what's waiting for you and what needs your attention. So with this, you can stay on top of emails. We are really shifting away from email. If I could never open Outlook again, I confess that's what I would do. But we still have to email various clients and users outside of our organization. But I can tell you, within PPM Works, exclusively we work in Teams. Like, it's incredibly rare that one of us will email another unless it's something that we are forced to forward from someone. So you can alert when a new planner task is assigned or documents are loaded and list items are added. These are the two things that we're going to go through on this demo today. And it will just allow you to automate that process. So let's move on to the demo. So I have already created a couple of flows here, AKA Power Automates, so that you can see how they're structured. So this is one that is generated from a template. So this is the when a file is created template. What I did is I actually searched in templates for Teams alerts. So let me just show you how that works. The first thing you need to do is go to flow.microsoft.com. And then this is literally where I say Teams alerts, and then I search. And then there are lots of possibilities here. Okay, so we have ones where if we win a bid, our system alerts us on the team channel, on our sales support channel. So that's really handy. If we get assigned to a new task, that auto alerts. So the one that I am doing here is the alert the team when a specific document is uploaded. So on this team that I've got here, our Bay Plaza channel, we have files that are stored in SharePoint, okay, and an issue tracker. So I've got status reports that are loaded for clients, and I also have an issue tracker. As you can see, I cheated a little bit here, and I am just sort of copying the row just so that I can show you how the alert works. But let's first look at the file, and we'll be able to go through and see how this works. So the template automatically puts these three things. So let me show you what it looks like when you first create this template. Okay. And then you'll expand each of these sections, and you're going to have to paste the site address into here. I can tell you just a little caveat here. Sometimes it won't find it in the list. The way that I do this is I first go to the library. So I've gone into Teams and I've opened the files library in SharePoint. And then what I do is I'm just copying the root URL. everything up to Bay Plaza. So I don't want the library path. I don't want anything after that, just the root URL. Okay, so that's what I have copied into here. Sometimes if it doesn't find it, like once you type it in, it may show up on the drop-down list, and I'll show you that when we create one. But if it doesn't, there's an option at the very bottom of the list to use a custom value. That's what I did here. And then once I did that, it automatically finds all of the libraries that are on that site. Okay, so it will be smart enough to accept whatever you put in there, even if it doesn't automatically find it. So you'll choose document, and then this is a little bit tricky. So you're going to choose the folder. And from here, you're going to have to use these arrows on the right-hand side to get to where you want that to be. So you'll have to sort of hunt. It's going to be under shared documents, and then you'll use this arrow, and then it will be under general because that's the channel name that you're on. And then here's the status reports. Now, once you're ready to select the folder that you want to notify on, so in other words, only when files are added to this folder do I want this alert to work, then you just click here, okay, and that will populate that. The next thing that comes into this is the post message scope. So this is where the name contains. I like to use this. This is a condition that's added to the flow. So it says only when the name contains this word. I like that because of the naming convention of my status reports. In other words, I don't need to tell people when this Excel file is added. It's not a status report. You can get more specific if you want it to say exactly status report or something that you always put in your title, you can do that also. Okay. And now the alert the team. Now, this is one of those caveats I mentioned. You can't really see what this is called here. So I'm going to show you what that looks like because they try to be helpful by changing the name of these. You can rename each of these steps here, but then that makes it difficult if you're trying to mimic a template because you don't necessarily know what this action is. So I'm going to show you that also. But on this one, it's going to come in by default as a flow bot. And then what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to select the channel. Okay, so where you're going to post it. So you can post it in the channel, post it in the chat with a flow bot, or post it in the group chat. I like to just post it on the channel. That way, everyone on the channel, even if they're not mentioned, has the option to see that. You're going to select the team from the dropdown, and then you're going to select the specific channel on which you want to post the alert. This body/path is going to by default be in here in this template. And then what I like to do is just put in a new message at the bottom so it's clear what I'm trying to demonstrate. So as you can see here, this is what this alert is going to look like when it's run. Okay, a new status report has been added, and then here is the link to the status report. All of these elements are available in dynamic content. So if I wanted to also post what the title of the status report was, I could do that. If I wanted to post who it was created by, I could do that. I think created by is another option here. Created by display name would be what I'd use for that. So I can see that in this case, I'm logging in as the account manager, the mod admin account. Otherwise, it would be Jenny Ward that would show. Okay, so you're essentially constructing this message here. So let's look at what it's like when we create it from scratch. So I'm back here on flow.microsoft.com. I'm going to create a template, and I'm going to use an automated cloud flow. So this is something that's going to be triggered by a designated event. In this case, when a file is added. Okay, let's move on just for a moment. We're going to look at this other flow because this is actually the one that doesn't have a template. And so this would be the one that you would have to create from scratch. So for this purpose, what I want to do is I want to show when a new issue has been added. So on this team, I have an issue tracker that allows me to keep track of, any new issues that arise on this project. Okay. So when I go into this flow, the option that I choose instead is not when an item is uploaded. You can see that this one is when a file is created is actually what it's called. This one is when an item is created. So file would be on a SharePoint document library. Item would be on a SharePoint list. So we're doing when an item is created, the same kind of thing. We need to copy that URL for the base site, then we need to select the list name from the dropdown. In this list, on this site, there's only one list, and it's the issue tracker. Now we'll get back to these in a moment, okay? These are little handy things that are going to allow us to mention users here, okay? But we're going to post a message in a chat or channel. Now, this step here, this action, as it's called, the post message in chat or channel, is exactly the same action as is here. The only difference is that whoever created this template renamed this. When I was brand new to Flow, because it was called Flow back when I was brand new to it, this confused the heck out of me because I couldn't find, I'm like, where is this action? I can't find it. Not until one day did I discover that it could be renamed, did the light bulb turn on. And so what's really handy is like if I go and I add a new step to this, you'll see I can search just for Teams focused messages here. Okay, so I can filter by Teams, and then I can just browse all of the Teams actions. Okay, so here it is, post a message in a chat or channel. That's exactly what I want to do. You can also use adaptive cards. We have some power apps that use those. I like the more personal nature of actually posting a message. Okay, if I go back to the team here and I go to the posts, you know, it does say, if it were me, it would say Jenny Ward. I'm logged in with our admin account now, but it would say Jenny Ward via Power Automate. Okay, that way people know, okay, this is me who did this. I could also, you know, because I'm the creator of the flow, my name is always going to show Jenny Ward via Power Automate. I could also, like I mentioned, add created by, so you could see who has actually added this. Okay, so in this one, we've mentioned Adele. We've also, I haven't run the new one yet, but I also included running for mod admin. So let's just do that for a moment. Okay, so for this one, we're going to post when a new issue is added. Okay, let's test this flow. And this time I'm going to test it automatically with a recently used trigger, the one that succeeded. So let's test this. And then let's just go to the channel. And now you can see that I got an alert that popped up. It went away super quick. But Adele Vance, I can see that I've made a mistake in my flow, and I'll show you what happened there. But it has automatically come up that this new post has shown up. Okay, so let's look at this run history. This is the user admin. This is the user Adele. So it's interesting that those are both coming up as Adele, because what I did was I have created one mention for Adele and one mention for my admin account. They're both coming through as Adele. So clearly that's something a little bit buggy. So you might want to just add one mention there, but let me show you how that step works. So I'm going to add a new, and close this one, and let's add a new one here. So I'm going to show you where that at mention is. Now, you might not know what these actions are called. Okay, so if I just removed this completely, and again, I just searched in Teams for everything that's available in Teams, and I search here and I scroll down, here it is, get an at mention token for a user. Now, the only thing that you have to do here is put the user's email address in. Okay, this will be what will then add them. You can see this is just the email address that's added in here. And then what happens is when you post the message and compose this, you're now going to have that as an option in here. Okay, so see how I have these steps? Each of these headings here on the top refers to each of these different steps. So if I scroll down to the bottom, I can see when an item is created. These are all the elements, all the dynamic content that comes from that item that's been created. But then these gray headings will be the different actions in your flow so that you can go and reference different elements from different parts. Okay, so if I removed this, I'm going to remove that one, and I'm going to remove this one. Okay, now I've got just Adele in there. Okay, now if I go back here, I'm going to remove this and remove this. come down here and I see only one. Now, renaming can get handy. Say you had a dozen people that you needed to mention, then here you're not going to be able to tell, well, which one is this one? Which one is the next one? So that's why I could do this by typing would be better. That'd be good. Okay, then I come down here. Now, if I go back into here and I try to mention Adele, see how the heading now says Adele mention? So I can keep track of which one I need to insert. Okay. So once you do this, you can then save this flow. Okay. It's going to run automatically based on these triggers. So this one will be when an item is created in the issue tracker. And this one will be when a file is added to the documents library, specifically in the status reports folder. And that's it. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at info@ppmworks.com. If you're looking for additional webinars, we have those quite often. You can see that we have Microsoft Project versus the competition, Project versus Planner coming up soon, and then favorite PPM resources. If you can't make a specific webinar, then those webinars also get posted to our YouTube channel. We have lots of great resources out there. You can find us at youtube.com/c/ppmworks. Please subscribe to our channel. We love to get new subscribers and to be able to interact with people via YouTube. And if you're just looking to reach out to us directly, don't forget you can use free planning services from Microsoft. It's a great service that they offer. You can meet, if not in person, then at least still virtually, your Microsoft project specialist and request a free project online trial, schedule a workshop, set up an on-site or remote demo. We're always interested in meeting new people and learning what we can do to help them with their PPM needs. Thanks so much.